Genre and style are pretty complicated. Well, one of them is. Genre itself is not very complicated. It's a way for us to organize creative work into boxes. And we shouldn't really talk about genre too much. Some people really enjoy putting labels on stuff. It's boring. It doesn't matter. For our work, genre doesn't matter. We should leave the task of labeling stuff to other people who care about it more than we do. Style, on the other hand, is a hot topic. Controversial even. I've had so many talks with so many designers who believe that having a recognizable style is important, and it is not. In fact, focusing on your personal style is likely holding you back. It is perhaps the most clear sign that your ego is in control because you're trying to force your style onto the work. And your style, in almost every case, does not help achieve the purpose of the work. But to debunk this whole style myth, we have to understand what style actually is. So this is a fun little exercise. You can pause the video now and just try from the top of your head to say in your own words what style is. And you will start confidently, and then you will get into muddy waters because it's actually not so clear what style exactly is. Style is a blend of attributes that makes something recognizable. Very much like flavor in a dish. In a dish, the flavor of the food is actually made up of the taste, the texture, the smell, and even how it looks, visual presentation. And those contribute to the flavor, the experience you have when you eat it. Similarly, style consists of multiple attributes that when you consume the work, look at it, listen to it, maybe both at the same time, it gives you a certain signature. So you might ask, what are the attributes? Which is the right question to ask. And it turns out that they are always the same. In every piece of creative work that you encounter, this includes arts, but also design work, graphic design work, music, things like that. There are 3 style attributes. Unlike flavor, the style attributes actually are in sequence. So one style attribute informs the next one, which is very important. And this is actually really cool. Once you understand these 3, you can go out in the real world, look at stuff, and you can try for yourself to sort of dissect what the 3 style attributes are. So the 3 style attributes are thematics, aesthetics, and techniques. Let's go through them one by one. Thematics is the basic theme of the work. So this can be ecological sustainability, or freedom, or rebellion, or love. The thematics are almost always directly tied to the purpose of our work, and in most cases tied to the client. The client will have a business, a brand, that stands for certain things. Many times the thematics of our work somehow relate to that brand. So for instance, if we do creative work for a dating app, it's almost always going to be related to romance one way or another. So the second style attribute is aesthetics. And aesthetics, most people just call it look and feel. And this is what many people refer to as the style, but it's actually just one part of the style. It's just an attribute of style. And the look and feel, for instance, for a romance-themed dating app might be soft and dreamy. Or an action movie poster might be gritty and fast. So this really sets the tone for how it looks and feels. So again, the aesthetics logically follow the theme of the work and they inform the techniques, which is how we achieve the aesthetic we're going for. So in the soft and dreamy aesthetic, for instance, this would inform us what types of lenses to use in photography or what types of lighting to use, that sort of stuff. So the techniques always serve the aesthetics, which is something many of us tend to swap out. So many of us are set on using a certain technique, and then we try to make the concept of the entire thing, we try to make it fit into the technique that we want. This is not ideal. And we always want the technique to serve the aesthetic and the aesthetic to serve the thematics. If those 3 things, if these style attributes are in alignment, then the creation is optimal. If we misalign certain things, for instance, if we use a technique that isn't optimal to create a certain aesthetic, or if we go for an aesthetic that might not match the theme, then the creation will be a less coherent thing. It's actually a pretty fun exercise to just go out or maybe online, look at stuff, look at designs, and try to reverse engineer the 3 style attributes. So we can look at something and we can immediately see what techniques were used, and then we can determine for ourselves whether or not the techniques actually serve the aesthetic they were going for. And lastly, we can try and dissect, especially if we know what brand is behind it, we can try and uncover what thematics they were trying to express. And generally speaking, like I said, if these 3 things are in alignment, then we can say that it's an optimal creation. And when these things start to be misaligned, or maybe there are complete mismatches, this all diminishes the value of the work.